If you've ever heard skiers and snowboarders rave about Japan's legendary powder, chances are they're talking about Niseko. People come here for the sheer amount of snowfall, think 40 plus feet per season, and deep light snow. It's one of the most developed and internationally friendly ski destinations in Japan that Australians have flocked to since the late 90s and early 2000s. With that, there's a ton of food options, and that's what we're looking at today. Big favorite before we dive in is to leave this a thumbs up, and if you are new, consider subscribing. Let's go. Niseko is broken down into 4 key areas. Anupuri on the left is pretty quiet for food and nightlife and more locals. Definitely more of an Airbnb and groceries vibe. On the opposite end is Hanazono, which is upscale and luxury. The dining is mostly in the Park Hyatt, which leans pricier. We've done deep dives on a lot of the restaurants there, so I'd check out the other videos. Today we're going to focus on Niseko Village and Hirafu. Village is more mid-ranged with a resort vibe, with Niseko-Yo being the main dining area. Hirafu is on another level. It's very busy and international. If you didn't know any better, you'd think you were in Thredbo or Falls Creek in Australia. You have a ton of hotels, hostels, and condos. Also a ton of restaurants, bars, and après-ski. If you're looking for nightlife, whether cheap or expensive, then this is your best bet. If you're not staying in Hirafu, then there's 3 main ways to get in. There's a paid local bus, but it is free if you have an Icon Pass. Alternatively, if you're staying at one of the bigger hotels in Hanazono or Niseko Village, they do have free shuttles. The last option is skiing down. So for example, you might be staying in Anupuri, but if you're comfortable going to the top, you can always ski down to Hirafu for lunch. That's actually what I ended up doing, but as my last stop of the day rather than for lunch. I headed into Boot Solutions since I was dealing with a bit of foot pain and boot instability, so ended up buying a custom footbed and upgrading to a zip-fit liner. I was already planning to do it anyways back in the US, but exchange rate made doing it in Japan a few $100s cheaper. They do have a store on the village side, but with a lot less inventory, so I'd recommend coming into Hirafu for more options. Outside of shops, there's a ton of food and drink options, probably more than the other 3 areas combined. Starting with a warm drink, we have Arabica, which is across the street from Boot Solutions. This is a coffee chain with more than 200 stores worldwide, but it was started in Kyoto in 2014 by Kenneth Shoji, so I think it's worth trying. Their top 3 drinks are cafe latte, Spanish latte, and their Kyoto-style matcha latte. We ended up getting a matcha latte, perfect to warm up after a long day of skiing, and especially on colder days like today. So not too sweet because we chose not to get sweetener, and it's super creamy, so pretty good. Right down the street is another ski shop, Rhythm Summit. You know what goes perfect with coffee or lattes? Donuts. Doyo Donuts is a local donut shop that's famous for their hot and fresh mini donuts. As of filming, they're only available during the winter season. They come in packs of either 6, 12, or 24. We opted for 6 because we're trying a bunch of food today. This food truck is right outside of Rhythm, so one of the bigger stores here. It also is kind of perfect weather where it's snowing right now, so it probably looks pretty photogenic. Let's give it a taste. A bit sweet, but perfectly flavored, and I highly recommend it. It's really good. Super fresh, delicious, and yeah, really soft interior. No complaints at all. Kind of reminds me of being in a fair. Last one, and it looks super good still. Terrible for your health, but good for your soul. Speaking of seasonal restaurants, Niseko also has a lot of pop-ups. One that caught Mandy's eye was ramen. For dinner, we're in Hirafu at a Ramen Pop-Up, so it is right next to Lawson's, and it's pretty cool outside. Super cool decorations, and perfect for a super cold night. You do order up front with a screen, and you can pick normal ramen or dipping ramen, and there are other sides as well. We opted for dipping ramen, main reason being that we haven't had on this trip yet, so might as well get it. So the main idea is that you have kind of 2 things. So you have the noodles, the meat, veggies, and also the dipping sauce or dipping broth. So it is a very highly concentrated one, and you just dip on it. Pretty solid and would recommend it. 2 thumbs up in my book. Probably should have opted for normal ramen though, since it has more broth and would stay hotter longer. It came out really hot, but it's already cooling down a bit because it is still pretty chilly in here, even though there are heaters. Taking a look at the chassis, it's pretty interesting. So it does have a char to it rather than just a normal type. It smells really good too. Wow, that's amazing. That's really good chassis. Has a smokiness to it too, which I think is really nice. It's not the thickest cut, but it works, and yeah, pretty tasty. Also pretty well marbled, so great flavors there. For part 2, they fill up the broth with water to kind of dilute it to make it drinkable, and they also give you a rice ball and some other items. The idea is that you put the rice ball into the broth. So you have some green onions, rice ball seaweed, and also kimchi. Really good flavors, and the rice absorbs all the soup. Pretty good overall, and if you are in town while this is still up, I would definitely try it. In general, there are a lot of pop-ups and hole-in-the-walls, and yeah, always worth trying them. Price-wise, you're not actually paying a lot more compared to other places, so it's not like you're paying for the novelty. It is genuinely good. One thing Niseko is known for is their food truck scene, especially in winter. Beyond looking super photogenic and almost out of a movie, the food is pretty tasty. There's 3 main sections. The first one is Hirafu Intersection Food Truck Hub. This is located next to the intersection bus stop and is probably the most prominent of the 3 due to proximity. If you're taking the local bus, it's right across the street from the stop. If you're taking a shuttle to the visitor center, it's at the turn. There's upwards of 15 food trucks serving a variety of cuisines, from local Hokkaido seafood to international dishes. One catch though is that food trucks here do cater to foreigners, so prices are a bit more aggressive than I would personally like. But not a bad way to try a bunch of items. The second section is Eat Street. This is located opposite of Aya Hotel and offers more of a family-friendly atmosphere. There's multiple food trucks, bonfires, ice sculptures, dining tables, and also games. This is probably the most photogenic of the 3 and my go-to suggestion if you want to grab a drink and relax. The last one is Hirafu Food Market, which is a lot more vanilla. There's a bunch of options here, but the most famous of which is Elvis, King of Kebabs. We had multiple people who were working in Niseko for the season recommend it, and it was solid. Note that it's cash only and there can be a long line, but it's a lot of food for the price. Next up is Elvis King of Kebabs. More than one person has recommended this place, and I've seen it online as well, so want to test it out. Really good. Tons of meat, which is awesome. Lots of different cuts as well. Yeah, amazing kebab. Is it the best I've ever had? No, but it's the best I've had in a long time, so it says a lot. And also it helps that it's freezing cold outside. I need protein, I'm hungry. Didn't really eat much food today and did a lot of skiing. And yeah, this is hitting the spot. If you'd rather eat indoors, then there's a ton of bars and sit-down restaurants. One pro tip is to make reservations. We tried walking into 5 restaurants that were pretty well rated and on our list, and basically told that they were fully booked up for the night, and for some, even the next few days. We did end up finding a hot pot place that was hidden away. For dinner, we're at Shabu Shabu, which is a giant pot of broth where you cook meat, veggies, and other items like noodles. We did end up getting the A4 Wagyu special, and it looks amazing. It's super well marbleized, and yeah, that's kind of crazy. Oh, no one saw that, no one saw that, no one saw that. So you don't want to cook it too long because otherwise it's going to get overcooked, obviously. You kind of want to just watch it, move it around a little bit, make sure it's fully in and not overlapping too much. I kind of like grabbing it right when it's still a little pink, especially for high quality meat. The rationale being that it's still cooking once you take it off the plate. As we speak, the paint pretty much went to brown and it looks ready to eat. They also did provide a sauce as well for the beef. Let's try a little bit by itself first. So by itself, it's really good. Super marbleized, tons of flavor, still a bit of chew because it is A4, not A5. If anything, I do like that there is a bit more chew. It makes it feel a bit more substantive. Let's try off the sauce. The sauce is perfection, brings it all together. It went from kind of like an 8 to like a 9, 9.5. Yeah, the sauce is so good with it. Wow, it's like the perfect match. If you're not looking to spend as much, they do have normal beef as well and other options, so don't feel like you need to get the A4 one. For example, the pork plate is about 3,400, so about 20 bucks. That's really good. We also ended up getting some udon for some carbs. I think it was pre-cooked though, so we can probably take it out. Let's do a check. Yep, that's ready. And it tastes like the beef, which is perfect. Yeah, the beef definitely adds a lot of flavor to the broth. And that's one of my favorite parts about hot pot is that you kind of get all the flavors of the meat, and then at the ends, you have the essence of what you ate. Okay, so ended up adding some more food because Mandy was hungry. So we got some lamb and some udon. Lamb is right down here. Udon is right over here. I already did have some lamb and it was pretty good. If anything, I feel like the lamb's even better value because it's really tasty and we got a decent amount. Yeah, I'm happy to recommend this place given the quality and also price. We did check out a bunch of other places before this and prices were pretty absurd. And mind you, we're from San Francisco, we're used to pretty big premiums. The main problem I think we had was that prices at some places were higher than the Park Hyatt Niseko, so the highest end hotel here, which has like pretty much Michelin level food, and it didn't look good. So same price, if not higher over here, but didn't look as good as the one Michelin star equivalent options. Yeah, this place hits a spot and I think it's well worth trying. Pretty good. After a good meal, one of the best stops for drinks is the Fridge Door Bar. This is a renowned cocktail bar known for its unique entrance. A vintage red Coca-Cola vending machine door. The line starts outside, but there's an inside waiting section that fits about 6 people. This gets really busy after dinner, so I'd recommend an early or late dinner if this is on your list. Inside, it's cozy with wood tones and eclectic decorations. The lo-fi jazz music in the background helps set the tone. The bar offers an impressive selection of craft cocktails, Japanese whiskeys, and sake. Signature drinks include the hot apple pie cocktail, made with vanilla-infused vodka and warmed yoichi apple juice, and a Japanese whiskey sour sweetened with local honey. Beyond just being a bar with a novelty door, there is a pretty interesting history. It was established nearly 2 decades ago by former ski instructor Hisashi Watanabe. Prices are a bit steep, but I think it's worth grabbing a drink or two, especially if you have good company. Pro tip, but if you're not staying in Hirafu, then keep an eye on the time. Buses run every 20 minutes during the day, but slow to about every 50 minutes at night. It's also a bit of a trek to get back up to the visitor center where the buses do pick up, especially after a few drinks. If you're in Niseko Village and don't want to head out to Hirafu, then you have Niseko-Yo. Niseko-Yo is a dining and lifestyle hub offering a mix of restaurants, bars, and retail. It's not as big as Hirafu, but is a good option given the number of hotels nearby. This includes the flagship of Hilton with more than 500 rooms, Greenleaf with more than 200, Pinode Hills with about 80 rooms, and Ritz-Carlton Reserve with 50. There's also a Moxie that's supposed to complete in 2026 that'll add 300 rooms. Let's actually take you to 2 spots. For dinner, we're at the Crab Restaurant, which is new for this year. Didn't exist last year. It's going to be right next to our pharmacy. We did end up ordering a bunch of stuff, so let's give it a taste. First up, we have eggplant. Eggplant's okay. Mushrooms with onsen egg. That one's really good. If you like mushrooms, then you're going to be a big fan of it. Next is oysters. Oysters are pretty good, awesome flavors, super tasty. It also is one of their specialty dishes. Last up is crab with crab sauce. So the sauce is basically from the shell of the crab, the cream within it, It is an interesting contrast. So the crab is cold and like raw, while the sauce is hot. And it's one of those contrasts that I'm not as much of a fan of. It almost feels a little slimy in a weird way. So I kind of actually wish they cooked the crab a bit. But the sauce is pretty flavorful, and I think it's worth considering getting if you really like crab. If you don't like crab though, then skip it. Last one is a deep fried onigiri, and it's pretty impressive looking. Looks pretty tasty already. It's okay. I think I'm gonna mix in the crab sauce to get a bit more flavor, but it's fine by itself. Overall, not my favorite restaurant here, but it works and it's nice to mix it up. I'm probably going to embarrass us, but we went here 3 times. For dinner, we're in Niseko-Yo. For dinner, we're in Niseko-Gojo, which is a partner restaurant with Ippudo. We have been here before last year, and it was pretty good, so excited to come back. Ended up ordering 2 things, so 2 ramens and 3 appetizers. If you're curious about prices, my ramen is about 2,000 yen. Also ordered a takoyaki for about 1,000 yen. chicken karaage for 1,320 yen, and gyoza for 880 yen. I haven't eaten since breakfast, so excited for this. Okay, so 3 appetizers are here and also my ramen. I think we should space out things in the future for orders, but it's all here now, so let's give it a taste. First up is gyoza. It's okay, a good snack, good appetizer, not too much filling though. Taste another one just in case. It's not bad. Let's try the takoyaki. They're pretty gigantic, which is nice. Pretty solid. Yep, nice and gooey inside. I recommend the takoyaki. Last up, we have karaage, which is just a deep fried chicken wing here. Really good. Piping hot, delicious, perfectly fried. Yeah, no complaints at all here. It's actually kind of crazy how much heat you can see come off of it. No wonder I burn my mouth sometimes. Pretty solid, and I'd happily recommend it if you like chicken wings. Let's try the ramen. Pretty good broth, so it is a tonkatsu broth with spice inside. Yeah, so chili oil, spices, and also tons of other veggies inside. Pretty good if you are looking for something spicy and delicious. It is a bit of a different spice than I expected, but still a good change. Like for a lot of other chili oils, it's very direct and it's like one flavor. Here it's a bit of two. Let's try the pork. Pork's okay, but the noodles and broth are awesome. Main takeaway, there's a ton of food options depending on where you're staying. If you're in Hanazono, the Park Hyatt has surprisingly good quality food. Even if you're on a budget, China Kitchen, Olivio, and Robata hit above their weight class and are pretty reasonably priced if you do a la carte. You can take a shuttle to Hirafu, but I'd argue that some items at those 3 are actually better at the Hyatt in both quality and price. Your mileage may vary, but I'd probably just enjoy the Park Hyatt. If you're in Hirafu, you're golden and the world's your oyster, whether that's food trucks, burgers, sushi, or hot pot. Also a ton of spots to drink and enjoy the night. For Village, Niseko-Yo is mostly good for ramen. Hilton food is pretty mediocre, so I'd skip it. As someone that likes food, I'd either just do ramen or take the shuttle to Hirafu. If you made it to this point, leave a ramen emoji, which I think is a steaming bowl technically, in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and respond. My question for you is, what type of food do you eat when you travel? Are you trying local favorites, famous options, or whatever your stomach says for the day? I feel like we do a bit of everything, so I guess we technically follow our stomachs. Let me know down below. Hit the like button, share this, and I'll see you next time.